11 days ago, Spokane astronaut Anne McClain launched a historic mission to the International Space Station. McClain, however, is not the only astronaut to come out of the inland Northwest. Photographer Nathan Brand goes back to the archives for the inspiring story of Michael Anderson.
Most of us look up and see the sky. Michael Anderson looked up and saw our future.
He told me some years ago the word can't should be taken out of the dictionary because it wasn't nothing that can't be done.
Michael Anderson never took his eyes off the stars. At 9 years old, he refused to leave the house until Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We was getting ready to go to the mall, and we couldn't go until that happened.
Michael was a very gentle, a very polite, a very kind, a very considerate, just a very nice young man.
Mike and I, we have common backgrounds. He grew up on an Air Force base, Fairchild Air Force Base.
He was a son of the Northwest, a student in Cheney, a University of Washington graduate.
A role model for everyone, and especially African Americans. He earned his way into NASA and the space program. There were no black astronauts when Michael was growing up and finding his calling in life. Michael Anderson was truly a pioneer.
Having a great time at this job, it's absolutely fantastic. It's what I wanted to do since I was a little kid.
And when the Columbia lifted off, it was his second trip into space.
The International Research Mission finally underway.
Barbara and Bobby Anderson didn't go to Florida for the landing. Michael said there would be more missions, more landings. They watched the tragedy unfold on TV.
Columbia out of communications at present with Mission Control.
When they said that they had lost contact, I said, they said it again. I said, wait.
We did not copy your last.
By that time, my sister called. She kept saying, but they got out, so no, it wasn't a situation like that.
There's no way they could get out.
The last night we spent with him, it's like a treasure in my trunk. It was the most beautiful 5 hours I can even recall in my life, and that was Tuesday night before the launch. He was so happy. He was so full of life. He was so energetic, and we just had a wonderful time.
I guess you will probably sometime always ask yourself why, when you know that it's God's timetable, but you still would ask that, but you know what's the answer.
We've been married for 15 years, and it was just getting better.
It's not the death of Michael Anderson that his wife wants to dwell on, but rather his life, believing that is what deserves the attention.
I want to walk away celebrating his life, the time we spent together as a couple.
Those 43 years was short-lived, but it was full, very full.
Now Anderson's mother hopes his life will be an inspiration to others. She encourages people to live like he did.
Have a dream, reach for it, and don't give up, and do whatever you have to do to reach that dream.
A statue of Anderson was dedicated in 2005 near the Centennial Trail downtown with the words "Keep the Dream Alive" inscribed on the base. Interested in looking further into the KREM 2 archives? We have more on KREM 2 Plus. Stream the Back to the Archive series right now. Download KREM 2 Plus on your TV and watch for free.